the world need solar energy? What kind of contributions are needed to lead the world towards a clean and efficient energy future? One of the answers to this question is solar energy. So, does the world need solar energy? We'll begin with the cons. One ramification of solar energy is that it leads to an increase of use of fossil fuels. The amount of power in a certain place needs to stay consistent at all times. During the day, there's a surplus of solar energy because of the high levels of sun, and that means that that energy level stays high. However, at night, there's very little sun, and therefore fossil fuels need to kick in to maintain that power level. For solar power to work effectively, we must lessen this disparity. In 2013, experts noticed this cycle occurring in Germany. Carbon emissions have increased because oil and coal-powered plants have fired up to fill the gaps in the new, incomplete system. Experts advised other global superpowers, such as the US, to take this consequence into consideration when debating whether to use solar energy. Furthermore, solar energy is not as cheap as you might think it is. The energy from the sun must be free, right? Because everyone has access to it? But that isn't quite so, as the cost of materials, buildings, and managing solar units may be too pricey for many people, especially those looking for residential and individual use. As you can see from the graph, we can see that solar PV rooftop residential sources, which is usually just our regular rooftop solar panels, total up to a levelized cost of $223. It is one of the most expensive sources for energy analyzed on that graph. There is always the problem of having no sunlight at night to keep providing energy during the evenings. Even though there is always the solution of using batteries to store energy during the day, it can really put a weight on the bills. And now we'll move on to why we need the existence and progression of solar energy.
And now we'll move on to why we do need the existence and progression of solar energy. So two important categories usually considered while evaluating our energy sources these days are monetary costs and environmental costs. And from that, we've all come up with the simple question, is there a source that is cheap and clean to use? Fortunately, solar energy is both. Solar energy is a renewable source of energy, as most of you may know, and is highly considered as a clean and sustainable source of energy. As long as the sun keeps burning, there will always be access to and a future for solar energy. There are less negative externalities that result from the consumption of solar energy, and the only concerns for harmful gas emissions come from the manufacturing and installing of the energy plants. It is considerably a whole lot less than what is released from fossil fuel plants day to day. Aside from that, the use of PV solar tech does not release any noise pollution as well. Solar energy is also very abundant in nature. The sun provides 1,000 watts per square meter on the Earth's surface on an average sunny day, and in total, about 120,000 terawatts of energy. This is 20,000 times more power than required for the whole world. In addition to these large numbers, location is not a problem as the sun is available everywhere during the day, and therefore there is always opportunities for solar energy use. When it comes to financial costs, solar energy may be a questionable option for many. Even so, it has been proven in recent years that the price for solar energy technology has become more consumer friendly. Take the numbers from this graph for instance. These values were taken from the year 2014, and it shows that the cost for PV solar tech is $79. Now, in 2009, the levelized cost for solar tech was actually $359 per megawatt hour. This means that there was a 78% decline in the cost within a 5-year gap. Now, this price decline must be the result of a decreasing total of building costs, operation costs, and maintenance costs, because fuel costs, or rather the cost of using the sun, will always be free of charge. With the advancements of technology, solar energy has the potential of being cost competitive with the usually cheaper but dirtier conventional sources. These are the reasons why solar energy will progress and become one of the most prominent sources of energy in our future. This has already been evident in some areas around the world, for instance, in the UK. Researchers looked into solar energy and concluded that domestic solar battery packs achieve payback periods of less than 10 years by 2025. This would lead to backup power, potential for grid balancing, low carbon emissions, and lots more benefits. Given that in the US, the Southwest has the highest potential for utilizing solar panels, we should apply the study in the UK to the US. The Southwest has an abundance of sunlight and is therefore the perfect place to start implementing solar panels. This eco-friendly source does help replace and limit the overall usage of fossil fuels, which will definitely contribute to a much more efficient and reliable energy system.